be picking up steam as this new kind of heelish. I mean, he's been doing the character for a while, but he's kind of ramped it up a notch. And now to have Maurice by his side, it's a very interesting thing. And Cesaro doing his little, looks like I said, James Bond-ish type character, and he's really feeling that character. He's got the Cesaro section. I think this is going to be a good match, and I'm going to have to go with... I originally went with Cesaro, but I think The Miz is going to retain the title with a little help from Maurice and to keep the feud going for a while. I don't think they're just going to take the title from The Miz like they did to Zack Ryder.
My friend, you need to get out of my head because you took the words right out of my mouth. You mentioned, I guess it was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, about how Maurice is now going to be on Total Divas. I think they're going to have The Miz win this match and continue to drag it out towards SummerSlam, maybe Extreme Rules. Maybe we'll get a title change. But I don't see Cesaro quite yet getting WWE gold around his waist. I think they want to build him up a little bit more for the fans. I think they want the fans to get over with him a little bit more, and then eventually... But you don't know. We're in Chicago on a Sunday, so anything's possible in Chicago. You know how those fans, they like to riot, as they say.
They will cheer for CM Punk before they cheer for Roman Reigns.
I have a feeling on
How
Sunday...
How much do you bet we get some CM Punk chants?
I think there's going to be quite a few CM Punk chants going on Sunday night.
Boy, do I miss CM Punk.
You don't have to tell me twice. I miss him as well. He hasn't even fought in the UFC yet, and I still miss him.
Sami Zayn goes on to face Kevin Owens in a... I feel like this is like a grudge match. I mean, been watching this from NXT on. These guys have had a great feud, and once again, I had to switch last minute. I had Kevin Owens winning this match, but I think Sami Zayn will get the victory here and frustrate Kevin Owens even more to continue the feud.
See, this can go either way because they're just both so good of wrestlers. This feud is going to be dynamite if they play it the way it should be played. I personally think Kevin Owens gets the win on this. I think this will also drag out to Extreme Rules. We'll have a rematch at Extreme Rules. And if I could just foreshadow and think what's going to happen in Extreme
Rules. You can't.
Well,
I won't let you.
Oh, too bad. At Extreme Rules, I could see a ladder match.
For what, though?
Just a ladder match. Like a ladder match, a TLC match, something. Because these two guys...
more of a street fight.
These two guys remind me of two individuals who could put on one hell of a match.
What about a backstage brawl match?
No. We don't want to see that.
You want to see a ladder match with nothing hanging from the top?
I changed the TLC.
But the TLC is also a ladder match with something hanging from the top.
Can I continue? I think they compare. They might not have the same body type, but they compare to me to Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit.
Kevin Owens.
I said they don't have the same body type, but they can wrestle in the ring. You've seen him in the ring.
But when they wrestled in a ladder match, it was for the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, you know what? It's going extreme, so one night only.
I feel like you're sipping on some of that juice that the creative team's sipping on right now.
No, just listen to that.
Who do you have winning this match?
I have Kevin Owens because you put Sami Zayn. I'm going against you.
You're angry about it.
I'm turning heel right now.
You're only picking it because you're angry about your little ladder match.
Yeah, because you called me out on it. So Kevin Owens, KO, fight. He gets the win. End of story. Moving on. We had the Women's Championship. Charlotte, the champion, with Ric Flair in her corner, versus Natalya and Bret, the Hitman Hart, coming back in her corner. Who do you have on this one?
Natalya's going to be the new champion, and I think she's deserved this for a long time. She's dealt with a lot of the crap that the WWE has put her through. They left her in NXT for a while to wrestle there so she could put over some of the younger talent. She's put over younger talent here in the WWE. She's been in the back for a long time where she had no storyline, and I think it's time to give her her opportunity. It could be for a month. It could be for a week. It could be like Zack Ryder and be one day. But I think it's time to let Natalya hold that women's championship. She is the epitome of what that women's title is all about. And I think coming from the Hart family, she deserves the opportunity to be champion.
I would have to agree with you, though you do have Ric Flair in Charlotte's corner. So
Well, that's where Bret Hart comes in.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Natalya wins. I'm calling it right now. She wins submission, sharpshooter, middle of the ring. End of story.
I like it. AJ Styles takes on Roman Reigns for Roman Reigns World Heavyweight Championship.
You jumped the gun real fast. Vince McMahon will announce who controls Raw. Who do you think will control Raw? I'm going with, drum roll please, Shane McMahon.
I agree with you. I go with Shane McMahon, but I'm going to tell you one thing.
I don't know where the storyline's going.
As the weeks have been going on, I've been getting more tired of this storyline.
It's a waste because you don't know what's going on. The whole WrestleMania match was just a waste. So,
no disrespect to Shane or the rest of the McMahons, but I want this to be a storyline where they get this thing done and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Figure this out and that's it. And how much longer are we going to see the Authority around? Because that's another thing that's also getting tired and getting old, and I wish they could get rid of that as well soon. But we'll see what happens. Hopefully on Raw, it's not, when we see Raw on Monday, it's not a mess. I want some finality in this storyline.
Well, unfortunately, I don't see that happening. The only thing I could see it happening is if they announce the draft, and we'll have to find out. We'll find out, though. We will find out. And
World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Roman Reigns, AJ Styles. Roman Reigns is going to win this match.
I think, honestly,
there's no way AJ Styles becomes champion at Payback.
I think it's going to be...
And I'm 100% sure on that.
No, I agree with you. I think Roman Reigns is going to turn heel at Payback.
Even that, I think, is not going to happen yet.
I
think they're going to have... We're still going to get a little bit of this, is AJ Styles with Anderson and Gallows? Because they're going to make a run-in. So we're going to get some of this, is AJ Styles with them or without them or what's going on? And then at Extreme Rules, we're going to see a team-up of AJ Styles and Roman Reigns against Gallows and Anderson to see how far they can take this. Because we're not going to know yet who's this Bullet Club, who's going to be on the Bullet Club side.
See, I think they're going to do a whole swerve on this. They're going to cost him the match, and Monday night it's going to be they're going to jump the gun. It's going to be Roman Reigns tagging up with AJ Styles on Monday Night Raw, because we all know they love to jump the gun on these storylines. And then you're going to find out that somebody you never even thought about was going to align themselves with Gallows and Anderson. And that's what I think. I'm sticking to it. That's my prediction. You gave your prediction.
Those are our predictions for Payback this Sunday on WWE Network. Let us know your thoughts. We want to know from you. Mm-hmm. What are your predictions? What are your thoughts on Payback? You can chime in at Ringside Rumble on Twitter and Facebook.com/UCR Network on our Facebook page. Before we get off the air, a quick note. Nice to have Titus O'Neil back. It was in a dark match on SmackDown against Tyler Breeze, but nice to have him back, and it will be interesting to see where they take his character and what they do with him when he does come back onto TV. So happy to see Titus O'Neil back in the ring. One quick note that I want to get into, and what I like to do is I like to, spread the love.
Spread the love.
Spread the love. I like to, post our shows on other wrestling pages, and I would do the same for others. Like, if someone else wanted to put some of their things on our page, we'd be glad to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But last week when we posted our show on Facebook, and we're thankful for all the listeners who do listen, there was one page that had a problem with us posting on their page, and they did not like that. They actually deleted our show off. I did not get into it with that person. That person will remain nameless.
You're being the bigger person is what you're being.
However, I will call out the group, and that group is Pro Wrestling and MMA World. This is a group on Facebook, and they're supposed, when you go in to join these groups, and if it's called Pro Wrestling and MMA World, what's the first thing that comes to your head, Loganator?
You think, hey, we're going to talk about some pro wrestling, we're going to talk about some MMA. We're going to talk about both if you really want to. And you could probably post anything wrestling or MMA related.
Correct. So, on their tagline, it says, "This is a Facebook that has non-wrestling MMA discussion thread. We're in here to talk about your life or gaming or memes, sports, movies, TV shows. Please keep it civil and do not fight or try to start fighting or name-calling." We didn't do any of that.
No.
But the person who runs the page did it.
Yeah, he said, explicit, you, pretty much.
Yeah. This is Pro Wrestling and MMA World group on Facebook that doesn't talk about pro wrestling and MMA.
Then why call it Pro Wrestling and MMA World? It just blows my mind. Blows my mind.
We're here to talk about gaming, memes, sports, and movies. Well, why don't you call it one of those kind of pages then?
Don't call it Pro Wrestling MMA World, you dumb idiots.
I didn't go that far, but
I did. I took it further. I had to.
I do want to promote a page, Talk Pro Wrestling on Facebook, because they took our show and put it on their page. So thank you to Talk Pro Wrestling for posting on their page. And I mean, I post these shows. You can listen to them. You don't have to listen to them. But, you know, we're huge wrestling fans. We're huge wrestling fans, and we like to, you know, spread the love with our wrestling. And you could do the same thing on our page because we're just one big wrestling fan community. And I thought it would be good. But the Pro Wrestling and MMA World, who don't talk about pro wrestling and MMA.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
Fools.
ridiculous. So, hey, man, we'll be back next week. We got recapping what goes on Raw, what definitely goes on Payback. We're going to be wanting to talk about.
We'll see if TNA gets sold. Who knows?
Who's the next person to defect from TNA? That's going to be interesting.
Will there be a TNA invasion maybe angle going on? Yeah, you never know.
Ring of Honor, New Japan, whatever it is that your heart desires, we will talk about. It's been great being on this show with you this week. This is a long show this week. We got a long one.
Yeah, we had a long one, but we had a lot of news, and we had to preview Payback. So,
Loganator, you enjoy your Mets game today.
Thank you. I am going.
Get that garden gnome.
Yes, I got to get
Cinder garden gnome.
I got to get to Queens by 3:00, so I can get online and get a nice gnome for the garden. It'll be my Mother's Day gift to my mother. I'm just kidding. It won't go that far. I'm keeping it. It's going to be mine.
Oh, all right, man. So this has been Anthony the Antman alongside Keith Logan, the Loganator. You've been listening to Ringside Rumble Radio here on Spreaker.com and free on iTunes. We will see you next week.
Enjoy the pay-per-view, everyone.
Enjoy the pay-per-view, and know that we're not the good guys.
We're not the bad guys.
We are the guys of the wrestling radio world.